shot. Twilight, Saigon, 1968. Matthew Minion looks deep into the endless black.
Like my soul.
He takes a long puff of his cigarette and speaks roughly.
I guess it's been 11 months already. 30 days in this hellhole now.
He runs his hand into his provided knapsack and pulls out a glass, a bottle of whiskey, and a picture of his wife, who he holds so close to him.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it is a fine, strong thing, this glass. It holds, contains, and helps us to use the foods and liquids we cherish. Ever since the old civilization started using it for art and such, it has only become better. The more advanced societies become, the more useful glass became. Now it protects and contains the food and drink we need to survive, acting as a facilitator.
I got glass like that back home. Wonder if she'll wait for me.
Lighting his cigarette.
My hubby tried to stop me from taking our glass preserved 45 bottle of whiskey. There was no way I was coming over here without a way to celebrate.
Just then, a flash of light flew over the horizon. Captain Brett Thomas scrambles over to the two in the building, a pair of military-grade glass binoculars in his hand, ready for use. He puts them to his sad blue eyes and sees through the highly advanced shards of glass an entire army of soldiers.
Charlie's moving in.
But how can you see that?
Well, the optical benefits of glass have long been prevalent throughout human history. Since the rise of agriculture, humans have known of the reflective and magnification properties of glass. Thanks to knowledge that has passed down and built on through generations, it is said Emperor Nero would watch gladiator matches through glass and rock crystal, but most ancient lenses were used for focusing light to generate heat. Original handheld glasses were first used in Italy as handheld crystals. Humans then began using lighter glass and first began to be widespread when Chester Moore Hall made the achromatic lens. Eyeglasses were made by hand up until the late 1800s. When the Industrial Revolution made it easier to make and trade glass, making them a staple in every continent. The same story goes for these binoculars I have since their invention of the telescope in 1603. It has changed the way we viewed the world, allowing Galileo to observe the planets around us and ultimately spread the idea that the Earth revolves around the sun. Since then, the telescope and binoculars have been essential in astronomy and navigation, shaping the world today.
My God.
A state of worry overcoming him.
Once more into the breach, Captain?
Knowing the answer.
But it's suicide.
Knowing he only had 30 days left.
Ours not to make reply, ours not to reason why, ours but to do and die.
Brett puts the binoculars down, reaches into his pocket, and pulls out a slick black case. He opens, and within he finds a pair of opticals. The only thing that separates his soldiers from the others. He opens up the briefcase on the ground next to him, pulling out a .50 caliber sniper rifle. He clips the glass scope that is so complex it can adjust up to 32 times its magnification.
Hope you boys didn't want to see that glass beauty they call the Empire State Building, because I got a feeling that this will be our grave.
While slipping the ammunition into the rifle, Thomas looks through his sight, and on the other side of it, he sees nothing but gunfire. He puts his finger on the trigger and flicks it. The glass again and again. Then times until he has to reload the beast. But then the building began to shake, and the crash of artillery shells rang out. The explosions ran organs from the glass that insulated and protected them became a projectile ready to take their lives. Glass has been used in buildings forever. It is a building block that architects can use in really any way imaginable. And as their terror grew, the building collapsed around the trio. 30 days from going home, they thought about the draft. They thought about their lives, about the childhood friends. They thought about how the stars lit up in the beginning. They created the material they held so dearly. They thought about the formation of the Earth and the solar system, how perfect the Goldilocks conditions had to be for the abundant resource to be as it is. With lighter elements like silicon and oxygen being able to form more abundantly in stars and being just heavy enough to be abundant on the rocky mineral crust of Earth, they thought about it, how it revolutionized agriculture, changing the way that people ate, drank, and constructed art and buildings. They thought about the modern revolution, the fact that glass allowed for so much growth, such increasing complexity. They thought about the collective learning that led to all the great things that glass is used to. The last thing they thought about was how, if things were different and glass didn't exist, they probably wouldn't have ever been born in the first place. Where does glass that has been prolonged our sight, allowed us easy access to fire, giving us abilities to store liquids safely, and help insulate and protect us from our homes, in our homes.